Also, in that category is routers, like your home Wi-Fi router. Super important to know that that's obviously pinging the same type of energy. Keeping that away from your bedroom and kiddos' bedrooms is really important. If it has to be located on, say, a certain side of the house, a lot of people use a timer to like shut it off at, say, 10 o'clock at night or whatever time the family winds down. You can turn it off, or you can just simply unplug it and then plug it back in the next day. So get the routers as far away from the bedrooms and the sleeping areas as possible. Same with those smart meters. Are you struggling with low energy, weight gain, hormonal imbalances, or heavy metal and mold toxicity? Do you want to learn more about anti-aging tips and creating more longevity in your life? Well, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jen Heller, a wellness educator, infrared sauna expert, and home health consultant. In this podcast, Homes That Heal, I will teach you how to transform your home into a health and wellness sanctuary. Your health is your wealth, and I believe that your home should be your sanctuary space, loaded with the tools you need to thrive in your life, not just survive. If you want to feel fantastic and transform your life and home, grab a pen, let's dive in and create a home that heals. Hey friends, Jen here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to Homes That Heal. I really hope you've been enjoying the home wellness episodes as much as I have over the last few weeks. They're not just my passion and the foundation of this show, they're really the roadmap for you to transform and optimize your home. I can't say it enough. Honestly, your home is your sanctuary space. And if you desire to live a vibrant, abundant, and healthy life, your home must reflect that. You can't live in filth, stress, and chaos and expect to have peace and prosperity. The good old saying, we're a direct reflection of the 5 people we hang out with. But please also know that applies to our well-being. Our health and well-being is a direct reflection of the environment in which we live. So fun fact, when I worked in HR at Coca-Cola and when somebody was coming in for an interview, I'd often walk outside at some point in the process and look inside their car, especially if they were interviewing for any type of management or sales role. True story. I wish you could see some of the looks on the faces when I said, look, come on, let's take a walk. Let's go check out the inside of your car. Because some of those positions that we were hiring for were given a company vehicle. Not only can you learn a lot about a person just by looking in their car, it's a close reflection of how they live and manage their life. And we wanted to hire well-organized, respectful people in those roles. So it's important to get a snapshot at how they treat valuable assets, especially if they're going to acquire one in the position. But I always thought that was fun. So your car is kind of like your mobile environment and can often be, not always, but often a reflection of how you live your life just in general. So back to today's topic. We're not going to just talk about cars. We're going to talk about the very important, most important, if I must say so, room in your home. And that is optimizing your sleep environment in your master bedroom. This is probably one of my most passionate conversations, actually. You've probably already heard me ranting in this, ranting on this in earlier shows, but for really good reason. Your bedroom and your sleep space are so fundamentally important to your life and health. I can't emphasize this enough, you guys. Once I wrapped my head around the fact that I had a stroke at the age of 33 and that it was partially due to the lack of sleep and oxygen to my brain. And when I say partially, that just means that obviously there were other variables, stress, heavy metal toxicity, weight, a couple other environmental factors played a part. But at the end of the day, I was not sleeping well. I was stressed out and burdened, and I was lacking oxygen to my brain. So you get real clear on what your priorities are when you have to dive in, when you have a health crisis like that, and now you're suddenly chasing your health backwards. You can probably hear it in my tone. If you pick one of these shows to dial into deeply, this is it. Do yourself a favor and create the most relaxing, inviting, glorious sleep space so that you can get a good night's rest. And I promise you, your energy, your mood, your sleep cycles, your productivity, your creativity, your opportunities, your vitality, your weight, your flexibility, your hormones, your sex drive, your relationships, your overall life will improve. I guarantee it. Sleep is so incredibly important for our well being, cannot be overlooked or put on the back burner. So if you're not getting enough sleep, struggling to fall asleep, or tossing and turning all night long, or just don't feel good or relaxed in your own bed, please tune in to the next few minutes and choose at least a couple things to optimize and upgrade your space. I literally sat down in our bedroom earlier today and made this list by looking around the room and writing down all the specific details and things that I did over the years to kind of gloriously harmonize and create this master suite. So I absolutely love our home, but our bedroom is like a relaxation haven every night, and we sleep like babies because of it. So this one, like I said, this one's gonna be loaded. So grab a pen and let's go. I want to kick the doors open and start with one of my hot button topics: electronics and EMFs in the bedroom. You cannot surround yourself with ridiculous amounts of Wi Fi pinging at your brain all night long like a microwave oven and expect the mind and body to relax and restore. It will not. Those two things do not go together. Truth be told, there are no cell phones, no TVs, no computers, no electronics of any kind anywhere in our bedroom or anywhere even near it. I know that sounds kind of crazy, and some of you might have just gasped, but your room is not your home office, it's not your theater. So computers and equipment should definitely be out. I'll chat about TVs in just a second, but I want to just mention was actually in one of my mastermind groups just a few weeks ago, and one of the ladies in my pod group piped up and said, just we were just talking about elevating our lives and just making changes. And she shared a story about how she recently learned, I shouldn't say recently, I think she's been in recovery and healing now for about a year, but she found out that she had this brain tumor and this cancerous tumor growing in her. And she pinpointed it back to the fact that she had her home office in her bedroom, along with, which includes like routers and Wi-Fi's, like a lot of electronic devices in her bedroom for a few years within 10 feet of her bed. And so she brought in some environmental help and some people that kind of did some testing to kind of test those wavelengths and like really dig into if that was the root cause. And sure enough, she got that clarification. She had the brain surgery, removed the tumor. She's cancer free and healing. But she quit her corporate job. She got rid of all that equipment. Like, she wrote a book. She's on this complete path to sharing the many benefits of harmonizing your home and your space and getting EMFs out of your bedroom. But this stretches into a lot of different topics, but computers and home office equipment should never be in your bedroom anyways, because it really doesn't need to be your office. It should be your sleeping space and your rest and restore. As it relates to a TV, I used to have a TV in my bedroom for many years. Actually, even growing up as a kid, we had TV that helped me fall asleep for years. When I was married, before I was home, my ex-husband traveled a lot. I was home alone very often. And so the TV on at night was kind of just relaxing and less lonely. So I fell asleep to it often. But, looking forward, understanding what that blue light does to your eyes. But I also had on the opposite side of the wall in my master bedroom, a few feet from my headboard, was the smart meter for our home. So, what a terrible disservice I was doing to myself. So, I had no idea back then, but it's not a mystery why my body or why my mind completely flatlined a couple years later. And I was like a zombie waking up every day. So, the blue light emitted from screens is not only messing with our circadian rhythm and our sleep cycles and melatonin levels, but it sends a signal to the brain to stimulate and stay awake. So although our eyes get heavy and tired, it's actually sending a different signal to the brain. So it's important to know, if you want to kind of think back to like primal living, when the sun goes down, that's God's way of saying we should also wind down. Side note on the circadian rhythm, if you're feeling that that is something and feel called to do something about that, A good way to kind of reset yourself is spend a few weeks physically watching sunrises and sunsets, then using minimal lamps and lighting in the evening and also reducing screen time significantly. So kind of think of it as when the earth goes dark, so do you. And you can totally reset your body and hormones. It's amazing. Obviously, that's not like a cure all fix all, but if you want to get the wheel going in the right direction, fantastic way. And if you don't have access to actually see or get to a sunrise and a sunset, you can use red light therapy lights instead. That's kind of a close second. And a good red light therapy panel, actually photobiomodulation, or otherwise known as PBM or red light therapy, that basically mimics sunlight, which is why our mitochondria and our cellular health respond so specifically to that. It's like soaking in sunlight. So it's fantastic. So if you can't actually get outside and see that sun, red light is going to be helpful for that. So on that topic of removing electronics, you've heard me also talk about this numerous times, the sunrise alarm clock. This is probably one of the best $30 I've ever I've ever gifted myself. This is such a touchy topic too because I hear all the time from people, I need my phone in my room for an alarm, which is total BS and everybody knows it. We all woke up just fine with a standard wall clock or a standard plug-in clock until about 15 years ago. So it's much better to wake up with the sound of birds or soothing nature, which is what this clock does. It also can mimic the sunrise lighting in your room and kind of illuminate the room like a sunrise. It's fantastic. It's also really good for kiddos. So if you want to get their circadian rhythms kind of balanced, and they're also super fun and enjoyable, just the relaxation of the sound. So check that out. That's on the show notes as well as on the Jen Recommends page. I think it's under home. Just in general, you guys, there's no need for phones in the bedroom. I know that sounds difficult, but it will literally change your life. And if for some reason you need a phone nearby for on-call purposes, or you have teenagers that are out later than you're up, or you have maybe a potential family member, or, the recipient of an emergency phone call, obviously that's understandable. Then set it across the room, turn up the ringer, set it on a dresser on the other side, or even outside the room so you can still hear it if it rings. It does not need to be on your nightstand directly pinging at your brain all night long. So please make every effort to get those phones and devices entirely out of the room if possible, but if not entirely out of the room, as far away from the bed as possible. And just one note on the TVs, I know I kind of mentioned that and kind of glazed over it. Keep in mind, TVs are smart devices as well. So even when it's off, it still has a Wi-Fi chip in it, and it's still pinging at you just like a Wi-Fi router or just like a Wi-Fi device like your phone. So it has the same frequencies and the same energies. And so, of course, you can unplug it, at night, and that's fine. But again, I encourage people to look at, treat your room as a bedroom and a place of a sanctuary space, not a multi-purpose media room or whatever the case that would be for you. So if you need help falling asleep, read a book or magazine to help your eyes get tired, journal, maybe even just talk to your partner or, think of things that you can do, puzzles, crossword puzzles, not on your phone, obviously, but good old fashioned books and writing. Overall, we just need to stop relying on our phones to put us to sleep or taking up space in our sleeping space. Side note, phones in the bedroom are a leading cause of relationship issues. Not a shocker. So if you have any interest in showing your partner that they're a priority, leaving your phone in another room, say in the kitchen or in a home office, will send a pretty clear and direct message that you're shifting gears, which I think is really, really needed. Way too many people have their nose in their phones, particularly in the evenings when they should be focused on family time or passion time or whatever you want to call it. Just being mindful and present with your partners and your family is just being hijacked with these devices. So as soon as you can set them down, beautiful. And if your partner is the culprit of bringing these devices into the bedroom, talk to them about EMF exposure and how much it would mean to you to clear the space of negative frequencies and energy at night. Okay, so in general, I think I kind of beat that horse, but if you change one habit from listening to this show today, this is it. Get the phones and the smart TVs and the iPads and any electronic device that would have any kind of a router or Wi Fi link to it out of your bedroom and the farthest away from it as possible. Also, in that category is routers, like your home Wi-Fi router. Super important to know that that's obviously pinging the same type of energy. Keeping that away from your bedroom and kiddos' bedrooms is really important. If it has to be located on, say, a certain side of the house, a lot of people use a timer to like shut it off at, say, 10 o'clock at night or whatever time the family winds down. You can turn it off, or you can just simply unplug it and then plug it back in the next day. So get the routers as far away from the bedrooms and the sleeping areas as possible. Same with those smart meters. I know I mentioned that earlier. I kind of glazed past that too, but smart meters on the same walls or up against bedrooms. So, so, so powerful and really, really disruptive to sleep. So dig in that a little bit too if you can. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, investing in a quality mattress and bedding. I am a huge fan of investing in a true, legit, organic mattress. We used to have an Obasan, which I enjoyed thoroughly, but I upgraded a couple years ago to an Essentia bed. And both are listed on the Gen Recommends page, so feel free to check them out. I think they're both fantastic. Essentia is just kind of the Cadillac, in my opinion. They have a built-in EMF protection, grounding frequencies, plus an organic cooling material that literally cools your body 5 or 9 degrees. So, no need for a chilly sleep or some weird, noisy cold water layer underneath you. I know there are a couple of really great options for cooling the bed, but I've never found one that you didn't have to plug in. And again, I'm all about not sleeping or laying or having something that's plugged in or electric on me. So we have the REM 5, but they also have the REM 9, and that's essentially the degrees in which it cools. It's honestly one of the most absolute best investments I have ever made. And we didn't even really need a new bed at the time because we had purchased an Obasan, I think, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years earlier. But when I was really in the weeds of detoxing, I was sweating like a pig at night. It was so bad. I mean, I hate to even say this, but whatever, it's fine. I would wake up almost every night in a pool of sweat. It was not only disgusting, but I was getting really poor sleep. So I'm honestly way out of the woods now from that nonsense, thank God. But when I discovered this cooling capabilities of the Essentia, the minute I laid down on it, my body was immediately happy. I had heard about Essentia from quite a few of my clients, actually, many of which are professional athletes. And then I connected with them at the biohacking conference when I was in Florida a couple years ago. So I had the opportunity to actually lay on it and feel it, plus chat with Stephanie, the owner, for a good amount of time. And she shared a ton of great information, medical studies, which many of which are on their website. Her contact information, of course, will also be in the show notes too. So if you want to call and reach out to her, please let her know I sent you. I think you might get an extra discount. I'm not positive on that, but I think so. I honestly can't say enough about our mattress. It's wicked comfortable. And Mark and I say that to this day when we crawl into bed at night. Oftentimes we're like, we just love our bed. It's like this cozy cocoon. Another important piece is your bedding, the sheets that you wrap up in. Get comfortable sheets, my friends. Splurge a bit on an expensive set you love or the kind you slept on at a beautiful resort. Treat yourself to that gift. You're so freaking worth it. The sheets and the bedding you wrap up in each night should be cozy and feel fantastic. We sleep in super soft fleece sheets that are incredibly comfortable. And yes, I said fleece and I sleep in them year round. They are fabulous. And I've tried taking them off, not taking them off the bed, not in the last few years, but I tried in the summer a couple years ago and I just put them right back on. So another key component to improving your sleep is the blankets. And we have a 20-pound weighted blanket on our bed. The brand is Balu. and that too is on our site. I think there are a couple of really great organic weighted blankets, but Value is very reputable for their quality, but just being like a true organic product. If you just gasped and said, well, WTF, don't knock it until you try it. I know 20 pounds kind of sounds like it's a lot, but there's a ton of data to support the many benefits of weighted blankets: improve sleep quality, reduce stress, anxiety, reduce restless leg and body syndrome, reducing pain, reducing nightmares even. So what it's doing is it overall creates a sense of calm through deep pressure stimulation, which then helps regulate the nervous system to promote relaxation. So the gentle, even pressure of a weighted blanket can even help individuals fall asleep faster, reduce tossing and turning, and just in general promote a deeper, more restful sleep. The deep pressure stimulation can also increase melatonin, which is our sleep hormone, serotonin, which is our happy hormone, while reducing cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So this was also an interesting statistic, and I actually took this right off their site. Weighted blankets can also be particularly helpful for individuals with sensory processing difficulties, such as those with autism and ADHD, by providing a calming and regulating input. So the gentle pressure can help individuals feel more grounded and in control of their sensory experiences. So I think that's really interesting, both for adults and for kids. Again, the link for Balu is on the Generica Men's site, but again, there are other great brands out there, and there are different weights. I think they start at like 8 or 10, 15, and then 20. I think 20 is the max. I just went right for the heaviest one just because I knew the studies and statistics behind it, and I had tried them before and I really liked them. I can tell you it will change your life. Mark agrees too. It took him a few nights to get used to it. At first, it felt like kind of like an elephant sleeping on him. He wasn't super happy for the first few nights, but, like, I think by night 3, he was like, "Oh, wow, this is so good." It's so much more comfortable than a person imagines. You just have to get used to it, and so much so that when I travel, it's like a lame and big disappointment, like how flimsy some places' bedding is. And I'll warn you though too, once you get used to it, sleeping elsewhere can be a little frustrating. So, pros and cons, pros and cons. Okay, a few other items and notes to mention about your sleep space. Maintain a cool, quiet space. If you need a fan, that's fine, but try it at a lower speed so it's not so disruptive. Consider a nighttime prayer or gratitude journal. I take time for this every night. I know I've mentioned this in the past, both morning and evening, gratitude and journaling. It's just a fantastic way to set your mind and intentions before bed. Let go of any stress. Plus, it sends a signal to the subconscious mind for restful sleep. If you really want to dig into this practice, check out Hal Elrod's Miracle Evening and follow the slumbers. That indeed will change your life. Okay, so let's move into another topic around crystals and increasing the frequency in your space. So, crystals are another huge part of my life and home. Many of you know that. And our bedroom is loaded with a few specifics: shungite and black tourmaline for neutralizing electric frequencies. Rose quartz is beautiful for heart health, love, and passion. Selenite for purification and cleansing. I have a huge piece of garnet, which is not only my birthstone, a gift from my mom, but it's great for emotional balance and vitality. And one of my ultimate faves, a huge piece of gorgeous amethyst, sits on my nightstand for calming and spiritual growth. So there are quite a few crystals and different stones that can be beneficial and helpful for your room space. So there's no right or wrong way here. Just kind of go with what feels aligned for you. But keep in mind, again, the environment in which you're trying to create. You don't want to get a bunch of stones that promote like energy and ambition and creativity and get the mind ramped up. You want to treat your bedroom as like a harmonious relaxation sanctuary space. So keep things calm and chill and love and just kind of in that vibe. So when in doubt, look online or hop into a stone store near you and just kind of walk around and feel the space and ask questions and see what aligns. So next, we're going to talk about the actual vibe and the decor of the room. And obviously, this is different for everybody, but there are some key things to consider. First and foremost, remove the clutter. Get the extra piles of things and clothes and crap out of your room so it feels more warm and inviting, not like a closet or a clothes hamper or some dumping ground. Remove extra furniture or things that do not serve a purpose or just add to the clutter. Remove stressful items like mail and bills and dirty dishes and old photos or broken items or again, just random furniture. Use blackout curtains or blinds if you prefer it to be dark. Use mirrors on the walls to promote extra lighting. Or if you're like me, you remove all the window treatments so you can invite natural light in and stay truly aligned with nature. So as it relates to colors and like feng shui, choose a wall color and decor that makes you feel good. There are a ton of beautiful bedroom feng shui colors and palettes specifically for bedrooms. Greens and deep blues and like natural earth tones are always, kind of a staple. And those are a couple of great examples. But again, this is your room, your space. Do what feels good to you. Wall art and pictures are super important. Choose things that make you happy and smile or bring back good memories, such as a relaxing vacation, place you visited, a sunset picture, or something in nature that just feels really good and grounded. Remove pictures that feel dark, heavy, and old, or those that carry a negative vibe or energy. Also, dust and clean your room. Keep your bedroom clean and free of dirt and dust and debris. This alone carries a higher vibration and will keep the entire space clear and clean and just a higher vibe. Also, another thing on that level is adding plants for grounding, welcoming energy. Plants are also good for oxygenating the air. And a few good examples are spider plants, English ivy, bamboo palms, or peace lilies are all great options. Please keep in mind, though, pet-friendly plants if you have fur babies, of course. So in general, that's like an overview of the list of things so that you too can optimize your sleep environment. So it took me a few years to really hone in on this, but I want to paint a picture of Mark and my bedroom for you. So we have a large bedroom full of natural light, and the walls are a soothing natural beige color. Our bed, nightstands, dresser, furniture is all a weathered gray, which has like a beachy, chicy vibe to it. There are black lamps with linen shades on each bedside, and our bedding is a deep, rich turquoise, just like the Caribbean blue waters. And our fleece sheets are gray, topped with a cream-colored accent pillow. There are a couple of well-positioned plants, along with a few of our favorite crystals positioned throughout the room. We have 13 windows, so the wall decor is a bit limited, but it's perfect for a couple of cat trees for Janice and Jimmy to birdwatch. There are a few metal art pieces on the wall, a frame full of our wedding photos, plus a large 3 by 4 foot canvas print of us barefoot on the beach on our wedding day. It hangs over one of our dressers that's also lined with a bunch of memorable pictures from that day, as well as other pictures throughout our relationship. We eloped and were married on the beach in Emerald Bay in Bahamas. It was stunning, and we still talk about how fabulous that trip was and the delicious coffee and macaroons we enjoyed each morning. It was an amazing experience and the happiest day of our life. So I created our room to feel like a beautiful beach resort. It's inviting, warms my heart, and I thoroughly enjoy waking up in the space every day. It just feels good. One last side note I want to share before I sign off for today. If you're inspired to dig a little bit deeper into the importance of EMF exposure, which I think is super important topic for your home, check out episode 15 from last year with Steve Frazier. Steve has been in the health and wellness space for decades, plus super passionate about creating harmonious spaces. He also makes orgonites, which are really beautiful and fantastic for clearing negative energy and optimizing a room space. I have a bunch in my home, including one in our bedroom, and you can order those right off of his site or call him to chat about making something specific for your home. Okay, friends, that is a wrap on the importance of creating an optimal sleep environment. I know this can feel a bit frustrating and overwhelming, and I just threw a ton at you. But please just choose a few things at a time and start with a couple priority changes that feel good to you. Listen to your gut and trust that you already know what you can do to step it up. Dedicate some time to making those changes and then take note on how it improves your life. I promise you, your mind and body will thank you. Overall, I hope this topic inspired you today and lit a fire in you to create a bedroom sanctuary space. As always, I'm grateful that you tuned in today. Cheers to a glorious night of sleep. I'll see you next week. Okay, friends and fellow wellness warriors, thanks for tuning in today. If this show was helpful and inspired you, please head over to Apple or Spotify to rate, review, subscribe, and follow us, as well as share it with your friends and family. It's a fantastic way to grow the show, expand my reach, and teach others how to create a vibrant life they love. If you're ready to invest in your health and purchase a Clear Light sauna, hop on over to jenhellerlifestyle.com and send me a note. Thanks again for tuning in. I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I thank you so much for your support. You are the reason I do this work, you are the reason I do this show, and you are the reason I get up every single day with a burning desire in my soul. Cheers to your health and happiness, my friends. We'll see you next week. This podcast is for general information purposes only and is not intended to be substituted for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you think you have a medical condition, consult your licensed physician.